After spending the week back in the Sacramento area, we'd had enough of this heat and are ready to head to the coast. This time, to someplace we've never been. But first, we need to do a little bit of grocery shopping. And now that we don't have a towed vehicle, almost all of our errands are done on travel day. We just need to go to places with good-sized parking lots, mostly Walmarts, but we also won't pass up a good Costco location if it's on the way. And you can't beat the convenience of walking the shopping cart right up to the front door of your home. A little bit of teamwork to unload the goods, and we're ready to go. Oh, and if we didn't mention it before, Louie and June absolutely love travel days now, where they don't have to get shuffled back and forth between the truck and trailer. As they take this little siesta, Chris does some protein portioning for our meals for the week, and then we're ready to get back on the road and head on out. All right, so we've made it to Love's. We fueled up. This will be our last time in California getting fuel. You know, you save at least $1 just leaving the state. So $205.
Was it really?
$205 to fill up. Just over 40 gallons.
In case you're wondering, in the state of California, during this stint for us here, it's July, end of July, almost August 2025. I've seen the diesel range from about $5.30 to $7.20, depending on where we are. When we saw it over $7, that was near Yosemite, so national park prices.
Next stop is going to be the coast. We're headed towards 101. We have about 3 hours on the Google map to get there. And I did some research looking at some different campgrounds. You know, normally we plan a little bit. Like, we don't just drive somewhere and go, oh, where are we going to sleep tonight? Like, we plan a little bit. So I basically, you know, just picked out 3, 4, 5 different campgrounds. They all get pretty weak ratings. And or, you know, we're not looking to spend $100 to go to KOA for 12 hours. You know, basically we just need somewhere
to park.
Yeah, so there's some harvest hosts in the area. There's some casino camping.
Well, I'm excited because I have no idea what you looked at for those pinned options.
Don't get too excited.
Well, it's fun for me because you could say blind date for the evening. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know where we're going to end up.
Yeah,
you at least have an idea and I have zero, so that makes me excited.
To the Redwoods! As soon as we got onto 101, it turned from that dry, brown, yellow grass to more trees. And then within like 10, 15 minutes, it was like, boom, you're in the forests. Now that we're 20 minutes from our final destination, we saw our first big redwoods, and we're like in the thick of it now.
That was exciting. It's like redwood sighting right there. We're in it.
So ironically, when looking for a campsite, I searched, you know, a whole bunch of different ones. We're trying not to spend too much because we're literally just going there to sleep and then get up in the morning. I saw there was a KOA earlier, but I didn't really look too deep into it because they're usually pretty expensive. And after searching all these other sites, not being able to fit in some of the state campgrounds, and even in some of these smaller campgrounds, these private ones that were close to $100 per night.
That's steep.
$100. And there was a few that were just like, they didn't look like good spots to go to at all. So I went back to the KOA just to check it out, and it's actually cheaper. It's like $80 for the night after taxes and some weird, mysterious fire protection charge.
Look at that!
World famous treehouse.
Do you see how big that tree was? Aaron, they just keep getting bigger and bigger.
And maybe if we knew the area a little bit better, and maybe some of you guys can tell us if there's some cheaper, better camping for, you know, 35-foot RVs at least.
I'm sure people who live nearby know some good secrets.
We got a little tiny glimpse driving through the Richardson Grove.
Yes.
It was so amazing to see the Redwoods. I swear we had a little glimpse of what it's going to be like tomorrow with Avenue of the Giants.
And that made me really excited. I felt the same thing, like, oh my gosh.
You know, we're not even gonna like basically hook up besides to power. So, you know, that's another reason. Like, I'd like to find dry camping because that's kind of the mode we're in for the next week, where we're self-contained right now, and I'm not gonna hook up to anything.
Yeah.
Although we are gonna hook up to the Wi-Fi because there's no cell signal here, and no need to do Starlink for a night.
Should we put the slide out between this pole? There's a pole. Should we just put it between the slide outs instead of moving sites? Might be less of a hassle.
Yeah, we're just not gonna fit between the...
Isn't that funny?
Hey Levi, this is Aaron. I just checked in at site 91. Oh, sorry, I'm on the Wi-Fi. The electrical box, and there's like a big pole where our slide outs go. Yeah, our slide outs would just hit the power box and the pole. They're gonna move us, which is too bad. This is a really nice site. It's really shady, and we fit perfectly in this little site. But these are the oddest sites. He asked a couple other ones, and I go to it, and the electrical box and this pole is like right where your slides go. And a lot of people have slides on that side, so kind of weird setup. Okay, still liking the Level Mate Pro. I could tell by my eyeball that it was down in the front, but now I can see it's 7.5 inches down in the front, that's really far. Like, that's a ramp requirement.
That's a ramp zone. What is the threshold for a ramp? Is it 5?
It's like, yeah, 4 or 5 inches, yep.
We are in ramp territory. We're gonna ramp it up.
Pretty crazy, that high on the ramps, and it's still only 4.5 inches. The one thing I don't think that's easier in a motorhome is leveling. You know what I mean? Like,
I can sense that, yeah. That seems to be more of a process, and like I sit here, I can't really do anything to help you level.
The weirdest thing between a fifth wheel and a motorhome is that fifth wheels are inherently designed to be taller in the front because they have to get in the pickup bed. They have to get tall enough to get into your hitch.
Yeah.
Motorhomes, on the other hand, are low in the front. So almost like more than half the sites, you have to put ramps. And then when you have to put ramps in, you got to put blocks in.
Yeah.
So it's just a process.
Well, would you say you're getting better at it?
Oh, yeah.
It's, you know, everything has learner's curve.
Yeah, the Level Mate Pro helps a lot. We now have a new equalizer control board that has less beeps, and it works with the ignition on for the slides and the level. So now that we're on the ignition, we should be able to turn this on and it doesn't beep.
Yeah, it's very peaceful in here right now.
Which is really nice. It'll beep a little bit while auto leveling, but then as soon as it's done leveling, it shuts off instead of beeping until the slides are done. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, man, in California, it is just hot, and these setups during this time is so toasty.
We're definitely here in the wrong season.
And I'm not into the habit of like plugging in first and getting the air conditioners going, because usually the AC is already running. So that's something I got to get better at doing. Just plug in the motorhome, but then we're like leveling and moving, and it's one more thing to mess around with.
Yeah.
It's crazy how...
I think that's why there's so many open spots right now, is because we're in the off season.
They told me this was the on season. I asked.
Oh, okay.
It's just hot. I don't know. Maybe
what do I know?
Maybe they're overpriced. I guess what I'm trying to say is that each rig is different, and even though we've been in this full time for 3 months, it still takes a long time to see all of these different scenarios and to learn your equipment. So I really can understand with people that, you know, have only used their RV a few times or only use it a few times a year. There's a big long learning curve for these things. And you know, we got used to our fifth wheel for 2 years. We got really efficient at it. And now this is like kind of just different in that area, the leveling at least. So there's always something you got to deal with. And I'm excited for tomorrow to check out those giant redwoods.
Louie, where have you been all day?
The dog slept all day. June's got broccoli. June's got a piece of broccoli.
Throw that off the table.
Eat your vegetables.
Good. Look at this. What's this? What is this? What is this? Yeah.
Just before 8 a.m., not our earliest start. We're excited to get to the Avenue of the Giants, but last night was a little scary.
Okay, so we were winding down and our alerts blasted on the phone. Loud alerts saying there's a tsunami warning in effect for this area. So we read it. Aaron kind of like immediately fell asleep. He was dozing off at the time. And then I was up for hours researching this tsunami warning. We've never been in an active tsunami warning / advisory. We were uncomfortably close to the boundaries because we are about 12-13 miles from the shoreline here. And this tsunami, it's a result of the Russian earthquake. It's big news. It's like the entire West Coast, and we are smack in that area. So I was kind of wigged out, but ultimately nothing bad happened, so that's great. If we would have been on the coastline, it would have been different, but we were far enough in where we weren't terribly worried.
I didn't feel, 12 miles in, we were going to have a 400-foot wave like you see in the movies come crashing in, but I guess you never know. Luckily, it ended up being 1 to 3 foot waves. So that's how important it is to have like service and internet and all that to not get caught.
But having the motorhome was a comfort in that situation where literally it's so much faster for us to get up and go compared to hitching up. So that was like, man, we have a full tank of fresh water right now. We have nearly empty black and gray. We could get 600 miles on our diesel tank. We have propane. We have stocked food from Costco. Like, we couldn't be any more better equipped to up and boogie. And that was so comforting.
So instead of this video turning into a tsunami evacuation video, we're going to the Avenue of the Giants. We're super excited to see these redwoods, and that's where we're going to spend the first half of our day. We almost drove right past it. Behind the trees, auto tour pamphlet pickup. Okay, we got the map. We are starting the auto tour of Avenue of the Giants.
Cool.
This is gonna be exciting. We love doing new things. You know, we've been RVing now full time for over 6 years, and there's still so much left to do. And this is a big one. This is the Redwoods.
There's more left to do than what's been done.
Yeah,
by a lot.
These are the tallest living organisms in the world.
Right here.
And they live for thousands of years. Like, it's insane. These trees are insane. So I did watch a couple videos just to get a little idea, and I heard some of the stops are a little underwhelming, if that's the right word, I don't know. So the visitor center, which I think is right across from, remind me again the name of the grove we wanna...
Starts with an F.
Franklin?
Fairmont?
Founders Grove.
Founders Grove. Highly recommended.
That is, I think, the best of the best of the best. So we're gonna do a quick stop on the first one here just to get into it, and then we're gonna go to the visitor center, and I think Founders Grove is right across from that.
I am so excited. It's like a scavenger hunt day of new experiences.
Slowest auto tour ever. It doesn't say no RVs. That is great.
All right, we're off to a good start.
So we've already missed the two first pullover spots. They were that quick. The first one didn't even have a sign. It was a tiny parking lot. We literally were looking and missed it. And we're like, oh, we'll catch the next one. And then we missed it.
Well, I think we got distracted on the second one because we did like 2 pull-offs on our own just at spots on the road that looked cool to pull over. So we have been stopping along the way, just not at the designated sites.
They didn't have big parking for RVs either. So I think the visitor center, which is stop 3 coming from the south, is where you should go first. And that's where we're gonna get out, hike, and spend a little bit more time. But so far, this drive is nothing short of amazing. Made it to the visitor center finally, and this is what we love about having a motorhome right now. We are doing A to B to C travel instead of A to B and back to A again.
Yeah, so this morning we woke up at A, and we don't know where we're gonna end up after this, but that's okay. It's this really intensified sense of freedom and adventure when you don't need to worry about going back to your trailer that's been dropped, or your towed car that's been dropped, or your motorhome that's been left behind because you're in your towed car. Like, this is pure spontaneous travel where we can literally go wherever the wind blows us, and it's something that just gives us this happiness, adventurous freedom that you really can't match any other way.
And this is why we started filming in the first place, way back in the van days in 2019. This type of travel that we were doing, we were so excited about. We're like, we have to share this, because for the first 6 months of travel, we were not planning on doing YouTube at all. And here we are 6 years later.
Okay, now let's talk about the Redwoods. Being that we just came from Yosemite and the sequoias, it's natural that you just want to compare the two. And for me, the Redwoods in this experience is better. Now, of course, everybody has their own opinion. That's great. This just does it a little bit more for me. Driving through, it's so dense, and you're like part of this ginormous landscape that I've never experienced anywhere else. So our plan is we're gonna pop into the visitor center. We're gonna see if we can learn anything, grab some pamphlets maybe, and then we're gonna come back here. We're gonna cook breakfast. We're gonna review whatever we can get from the visitor center.
Hopefully we can hike from here because we've got a great spot to just leave the RV.
And it's nice and cool. It's so shaded and so comfortable. The dogs will be happy here. We're gonna get some hiking. So we plan to spend a bit of time right here.
Okay, by far the coolest thing in there was the travel log, the world's first RV.
I actually like jaw dropped when I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh, how cool is it that we walk in here and we see this log RV?
That thing's over 100 years old, and it literally looks like an RV. Like it's carved out to have like a living quarters, and it's got windows.
And even had a sink.
Wow, that's so cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's cool that they preserved that. And I did read something about that whoever made it did it to like kind of help promote the area and the Redwoods or whatever he was doing. I'm not sure. I don't know the whole story. But it was cool to see that RV.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also learned that there is a short hike across here called the Gould hike. It's only like a half mile. But we might as well do that while we're here after breakfast.
Yeah.
And then the Founders Grove, which I think is where it's at.
Yeah.
Is like 4 miles up the road.
Perfect. And I got postcards, so I'm set there. And we got plenty of reading material. And I am so hungry. I can't wait for breakfast and then hiking.
So this is just the tiny half-mile trail across from the visitor center. It's not even popular. There's nobody here. And it's so cool.
Okay, so you know how we were talking about how awesome it is to drive through? It's even cooler to walk through, to get off on this formed trail and meander through. And it's like, whoa, that one's huge. And then you're at the base of it and you're looking up and you can't even like see the top of it. It's so big.
I'm gonna predict that Founders Grove is gonna be super busy and not as cool as this because of how personal this is for us.
It's very intimate in here. You have the entire grove with just us. I hear some birds.
Just listening to like the sounds of the forest, and the highway or the road is off in the distance, but it's so thick and so dense in here that you can't hear the cars barely.
Yes. Look at that.
It's so big. These fallen trees are impressive. There's a big famous fallen tree that's like 375 feet tall up by the Founders Grove.
Really?
I don't know if we'll be able to get to it, but
we might see it, we might not.
Yeah. You can see why big RVs don't fit.
Because so many trees. There's so many trees to park around.
So the Founders Grove trailhead, much tighter than I thought it was going to be. And then there was the sign for large vehicle turnarounds, which we start going, and then this seems like a really tiny road with logging trucks going by, and
it's a single road, so you have to look ahead, and there's constantly cars in both directions, which makes it just a bit uncomfortably tight. Like, I'd rather have not have been driven down here, but it'll be fine as soon as we can turn around.
yeah, crazy. It's like an active logging road. And then of course this was where there was the 12-foot low bridge that we can't go around. So I think this is where we turn around, babe.
I think it loops, like if that loops around here.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I gotta say I'm a little disappointed so far, and I hope we find somewhere to park this rig to get on the Founders Trail.
There was that one side parking where it was before the parking lot.
Yeah, where we could have swooped in and taken some spots.
Yeah, there was one truck there, like in a standard parking position, which if he wasn't there, I would have swooped in at that time. So if there's still cars there, we won't be able to do that. But if it's empty, then we can take advantage of that little swoopty spot.
With the Founders Grove dreams slipping from our fingers, we found a parking spot. Not sure how far away we are. I'm guessing around a half mile. Across the bridge, not a great walking area, not much shoulder, but we're not gonna let this bypass us. And there was a little tiny pullout that was kind of steep off the road where we pulled over when the logging trucks came by. We could have parked our RV there. If it was a little more level, it would have been fine. I was a little worried about the ground clearance, but I think we could have made that. That is where you can park roughly a 35-foot motorhome. But we're still gonna walk the half mile there and at least check some of it out. To the Founders Grove!
It's gonna take more than that to keep us out of Founders Grove.
Barely over a quarter mile. We almost let this stop us.
But we didn't. And sometimes you just have to get past that mental limitation where just because it didn't work out exactly how you thought it would, that doesn't mean it can't be done with a little bit more effort.
Yeah, as soon as we started pulling away, I was like, I can't let that get away from us.
I could see your heart was just sinking as we left. And like this was the big event that we really wanted to make sure we did, was Founders Trail. Finally, a pocket of sunshine. So pretty.
The brochure.
Ooh. The postcard we bought.
Yeah.
I just bought a postcard with that. He's big. Where'd I go? It's so big you can run circles. You can march circles inside of the tree.
It's bigger than our RV.
I'm not 6'2" or anything, but
Whoa.
but you can get the idea. Those will never get old, will they?
No, super cool.
So cool. Well, and each one is different. It's like each little uprooted root tells a different story.
Yeah, that's probably the coolest fallen tree right there. It's the most alive fallen tree, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's point of interest number 7 in that little booklet. It probably talks about that. We'll have to check the booklet on the way out. But yeah, look at the way the sun is hitting the ferns that are growing out of it, and it's just like glowing from the inside out. Even though the tree itself is not alive, there is still lots of life on and within that tree. It's deep, isn't it? It's deep.
There's a lot of life left to give. So this is the spot right here. Do you see it? With the trees kind of falling on each other and like splintering all out.
What is it called?
Well, I don't know the name of it, but it symbolizes how powerful these trees falling would be. Could you imagine a 350-foot tree falling in the forest and just cracking down?
No, I can't even take a guess as to how much that would weigh. Do you have a guess?
No. See how it's kind of like splitting where it cracked, like just big timbers when it fell, just.
Yeah.
And then this is like multiple trees that like fell. I think they fall and then they'll hit another one, which topples them over like bowling pins.
Domino effect.
Yeah, that's what's cool about this trail is that there's probably a dozen fallen trees.
Yeah, there was lots of fallen trees, and it's just really cool to look at the bottom roots of each individual one. And there definitely was not this many back at the Visitor Center Trail.
No, it's a little bit more of a grand trail. It's definitely worth going to the Founders Trail. But if you want the private experience, we always try to give the private option because we enjoy that as well.
For sure. Yeah.
But this hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, but since they're so small, like the trails themselves are so small, and they're easy to get to, they're easy to park at, they're close together, and this is like your day. You want to do as many as possible to get out there and walk amongst these giants.
Here, look at these. This is what I'm talking about.
The splinters.
Imagine that just cracking.
Look how tall this. This is just one side of it, right?
Yeah, it's so big.
It's so spooky. Look at their spider webs. There's like, I was just saying, I wish I knew how many organisms, insects, birds, plants, everything.
Animals.
Yeah, I wonder how many live in this tree. Like, how many things does this tree keep alive just by existing here in its afterlife?
And they sit for thousands of years. Like they could be thousands of years old, and then they also just sit here for thousands because they just don't decay. They're so big, so dense.
Yeah.
And they're so resistant
Yeah.
to so many of the, natural elements out there that they just stay forever.
Uh-huh.
Look at those shards. Oh, here it is. I missed it. This is it.
Oh, man.
Look at this. Look at that. It just hit that tree and just shattered. Wow.
Could probably hear that from miles away.
I actually did hear a stat like that. Somebody said from like a couple miles away when some of these trees fall, they hear it.
Yeah, you could probably even like feel it for quite a distance too. The vibration and the noise travel.
It's our very first spotting of the banana slug. Put your face in there for context.
No, I'll put my finger in there. I'm not putting my face next to that. That's gross. Do they bite?
Yeah, they jump.
Do they?
It's bigger than your finger.
Oh,
Do you see all that slime?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I wouldn't touch that.
Wait.
Well, we're basically at the end of the Avenue of the Giants. We're at 30 miles. There's just a couple short miles left. And it's almost 2 o'clock. So I think we spent somewhere around 4 hours. A good part of a day. Obviously could have spent a lot more time here. Or you could just drive through in an hour if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool overall. And the big question is, what's next? Where do we go? And what do we do? We haven't really researched this area enough. There's Eureka, there's Klamath, I think it's called, and Crescent City. Obviously, we're in the middle of the Redwoods National and State Parks, so there's a lot left to do. And we're not sure where we're staying tonight. So that's what we're gonna have to figure out and see what tomorrow brings us.
Ever wonder where the name Irene Iron Travels comes from? It's actually named after my online fitness and nutrition coaching business, Irene Iron Fitness. I help people move better, feel better, and eat better with strength training and real food. No fad diets, no harsh restrictions, no counting calories, and absolutely no processed food in a package. If you want to get stronger and feel better at any age, check the description below for the links with my new client special, or join in on our next and upcoming group challenge.